What's up, guys? Trey Lewellen here, Kommerce Kings, episode number 7, with one of the coolest dudes on the internet. It's amazing because this guy's name's Tanner Larson. Here he is in the flesh. And what you guys don't know, and may not know, I don't know, I talk about you quite a bit, is Tanner was and is a mentor of mine. Like, I look up to Tanner. He comes up like really amazing things. I'm just like, damn, that was really smart. And then I, try to go model some stuff. So I met Tanner. You know what's funny is I don't know how I connected with you, but I somehow jumped on a webinar, and you're talking about selling T-shirts on Teespring, and I don't even know if you know this story. So you're telling this story of this Teespring. You're also telling the story about the couple who made $1 million of painting art and doing
John and Liesel. Yep.
There you go. See, I don't even know the names. I just know the story, and it was that story that just was like, whoa, these guys are the husband paints and the lady makes a poem, and maybe it's vice versa.
That's it. It's a retard. Oh, no, sorry. It is vice versa. Liesel does the art. He writes a poem. They're terrible, but it works.
People pay a subscription to get it each day, and then they're only doing art and poems for the longest lasting member. It's like, wow, that was an amazing story. So I was really impressed with that. And then secondly, you were doing this really nice presentation. Like, you put in so much work to this presentation. Like, it was beautiful, and I'm watching it. But realistically, I have a newborn that I'm trying to entertain with like little blocks and everything. He's 4 now, and I'm trying to listen in. I'm taking notes of your stuff, and about an hour into the presentation, I hear this really big, "Dad, Dad!" And I was like, "Whoa." He's not doing this in a studio, like he's doing this at home.
At home.
You're like, if you didn't miss a beat, you're like, yep. And so this is boom, 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 Dad! And all of a sudden, like, just went away. And you're like, by the way, that's my daughter. She knows that this is not daddy time. Like, I'm here for you guys. I got to keep you in motion because I spend tons of time with her. Don't think I'm a bad dad.
Yeah, I was Mr. Mom.
Oh, she's like Mr. Mom and locked into a closet. And I was like, wow, like, how real is this guy? How real is Tanner? And that I'm glad that happened, because it showed me, because I'm here with my little kid, and you got yours in the back door screaming and wanting your attention, and you're giving us value at the same time. Like, man, that's got to be so hard for to do that, because it was a late night presentation. I think it was like at 7 o'clock my time or 8 o'clock. Like, it was late, and that was so cool. And from there, I got to talk with you, and you started chatting with us, and that was so cool, to where we started doing some shirts, and I learned so much from you to doing those shirts and what to kind of do and what to look for and take those things along the next way. I mean, it was stunning. It was absolutely amazing, and I have to thank you for that.
I appreciate it. You get the stories on your side too, because we watched you come in. I remember that, and that course that you were watching is the most pirated T-shirt course on the internet. Like, that's really my claim to fame, is everybody has it for free because it's on YouTube, it's everywhere. But I remember when you messaged me after that course, and you're like, hey, first you messaged on a Facebook post, you're like, hey, we did this, we tipped a shirt, it was like $200. You guys had made or $500 or something. And then the next thing was, you sent me a message a couple months later before we started working together, and it was, hey, how are you tipping campaigns like this? I just can't get over these numbers. And I'm like, whatever. I don't remember what we even talked about, but then it was like a month, maybe 2 months later, you hit like 1,000 shirt campaign. And then it just kept going from there. And I'm like, well, shit, Trey, I can't even tip it. How do you tip campaigns like that? Because I can't tip campaigns like that.
How you tip it? I can't tip something like that. Yeah. Dude, that was an amazing shirt. We did one, we did $117,000 in 2 weeks, because of the stupid stuff would, cut off. Yep. I was unemployed after I sold a shirt, and I talk about that all the time.
We all were.
But it's like, no buyer data, no nothing. And it was great for like instant money. I call them like one-hit wonders, because that's all they were. And then it was like, boom, you're no database, no nothing. It's kind of like selling on Amazon. It's like, you don't have anything. And it's so cool. So it's like, we went that way. And that was a really cool story to like just kind of sit there and listen to you and be mentored from you. And I got to tell it before we get into this deep, because I think this story is so funny. Okay. We were in the office, so one day sitting down, and I share some funnels throughout the e-commerce world of ClickFunnels, and
Boar snake.
Our support team gets a little notification, and it says, "Hey, I'd like to buy a boar snake." And they're like, we don't sell boar snakes. And they're like, yes, you do. It's right here. And someone's like, do we sell boar snakes? I was like, no, we've never sold boar snakes. And so I was like, maybe it's some weirdo. And then, so they close out and that next one comes up. Boop, hey, I'd like to buy a boar snake. I was like, what the hell? Like, okay, where's this link? And so they give us the link and it pops up this website. I was like, wow, that looks like my funnel, but that's definitely not our funnel. Like, we don't sell these. So someone is selling boar snakes with our funnel. That's great. But oh no, I probably forgot to take the chat out of the freaking funnel and someone's copied it over and actually running traffic, like actually doing something. I was like, well, that's kind of cool, but we're getting all the questions. And I was like, all right, well, I got to backtrack. And luckily out of the, I don't know, like how the world sinks in, but it was your funnel.
Yeah. You called me. You're like, hey, I'm like, no. Oh shit. Because this was a perfect example of, taking crazy action just to try something, because we had the continuity program, which was the whole point of that funnel. And we were doing well with it in regular funnels, but you had just shared that thing. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to get into that. And then one night I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, fuck it. Let's do it. So I shared it. I put it in my account, edited things out, didn't check anything else. And then just made it go live. And yeah, it had your little call chatbot thing that kept popping up. The other thing it was doing was, I don't know if it was screwing it up for you, but it still had all of your affiliate tracking or your conversion tracking scripts on the thank you pages. I remember if it was Entreport or Moonray or whatever it was back then. But we found all that stuff later when none of our pixels were firing because it had all your stuff firing.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And, it worked. But yeah, I'm glad you handled all of our customer service. I mean, that was me outsourcing it to you.
I just tried to start selling them. I was like, if he's going to send them, we might as well sell them.
We don't have them in stock, but we'll get them.
we'll get you some boar snakes. We got some other stuff. So I thought that was freaking hilarious. And it was just so happened that it was you running in. I was like, well, the guy who would take action would be Tanner. And, had to make
that funnel went really well. We were trying to lose money on the free plus shipping. We were still profiting like 76 cents on the front end.
Oh, nice.
Every time we raised it. And then continuity was converting at 35% or something crazy like that. So
holy cow,
that was awesome. So thanks for doing my customer support and thanks for the funnel, because it definitely worked.
That's what we're all about. That's what we're all about, making things happen. So dude, tell me what you've been up to, because I have your book right here. You've been writing books. You've been on ClickFunnels. You've been on building funnels. Like, you got a golden record behind you. Like, what the heck's been going on?
So it's been kind of a crazy whirlwind. Man, where to start? Wow. So it's been a really, really crazy last 2 years, I would say, that just kind of completely rocked my world. We were doing basically everything that we were doing: e-com, info publishing, digital, software as a service. Like, this happened when I partnered up with my ex-business partner, he had these goals of like just taking over the world with everything. And he loved software and I loved e-com, and cool, let's do everything. And we just kept going like this until we had so much stuff going that we were falling into the same trap we tell all of our students not to, of just having too many things, too many irons in the fire. Mm-hmm. And, it just wasn't working out. So ultimately we ended the partnership, which was the best decision of my entire life. Just because it allowed me to focus back down and get back to what I really wanted to do. Because my life was out of proportion. Like at that point, I had no family life, because I was working 20 hours a day trying to fulfill and service all these different things. So when that happened, I'm like, you know what? I have so much e-com stuff that I have to get it out in a book. And like the way you write a book is you write a book about this, right? But me, I can't do anything without doing this. Ben Atkins always says that I'm the guy that gives the kitchen sink, even when all they wanted was a Pop-Tart, like whatever. So that book actually should have been 3 books, right? And instead it turned into 1 book, which has now become like the desk reference of e-com. And that's all we do is just e-commerce. And, it all came from the direct response marketing world. We're funnel based, same way you started. We've been doing funnels and direct response funnels and all that stuff for years. Continuity has been basically my thing since day one. And it was obviously what you loved about, talking with me as well. Yeah. And you took it to a whole nother level, which is amazing. And, that's just what we do: e-commerce, continuity, direct response marketing. And that's done really well for us. But we had kind of the 2 things going, right? We were doing e-commerce, and then we had the education side through Build, Grow, Scale, which had the book and had the traditional info funnels and all that stuff. And about a few months ago, I kind of had maybe even more than that, an epiphany that's like, I don't want to be an info marketer like this. I want to support a small group of people, and I want to do e-com. Like, that's it. So Build, Grow, Scale has nothing. We have no more upsells, downsells, anything. We have one core offer. That's it. If you're in our program, you get all of our resources, our assets, everything. If you're not, go buy my book. You know? And I mean, that's the way we can serve that while at the same time focusing on the e-com stuff, which has been blowing up. And I was kind of telling you a little bit that we've shifted almost entirely off of ClickFunnels and standalone funnels, which has always been my thing. Like anybody who knows anything about me is like, you got to have a funnel. Don't use stores. And I mean, Adam Maltias from Shopify used to hate me. I mean, we were good friends, but he's like, dude, don't say that not to use Shopify. I'm sponsoring your event. I'm like, you're right. I'm sorry. But now with the way tech has moved on and like Matt sitting over here, my business partner, we figured out how to do basically everything we were doing on ClickFunnels that made it so powerful within Shopify and the traditional e-commerce framework. So now we can work on stores that already are there. We can build the upsell funnels. We can do order bumps. We can do pre-card upsells, post-card upsells, one-click functionality, continuity, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's actually simplified our tech stack significantly because, as we all know, ClickFunnels sometimes has a tough time integrating with some of your other tech. And that's where it's crazy. I could never thought I would be diehard, into Shopify. Like I was like, Ezra, you go do your thing. I'm doing funnels. Trey and I will be the funnel guys. We'll be the. And now I'm right there. Hey, Shopify. And it's not just Shopify. We can do other platforms, but we had a major problem with UltraCart. And that's what pushed us onto Shopify. We figured all that out, and it's amazing.
So what makes it amazing? What are you doing? Like a store, and then each product goes into a funnel, or like?
Yeah,
what?
So we could do all kinds of stuff like that. So the cool thing is with the new apps and things that have been coming out, a lot of them have been I wouldn't say pioneered, but the programmers and the guys who own the apps came to me and are like, "What do you want? And how does it have to work?" Cool. And so when they did that, I'm like, "Well, for sure, I'm going to brain dump on you." And a couple of them listened. Matt Stefanik is one of them, and Jordan Gall's the other. Mm-hmm. And those two are phenomenal. And they're both different models, but still the funnel builder type thing. So what we can do in a Shopify store now is we can take the Shopify store and still do all that. So your organic traffic that's finding your store, you can leverage the SEO, you can do all that stuff. Yeah. We've gotten to where we can take a Shopify store and get 5, 6, 7% conversions out of the store. And as you know, that's ridiculous. That's why we use landing pages, right? To get those 5, 6, 7, 8% conversions. We can do that with a store now. Not on every store, but we can get much higher than the 1.5 to 2% that most people get. We're usually in the 3s, 4s, 5s.
That's big. Yeah, that's huge.
So with that and the organic traffic and the trust factor of a store, as much as I hate it, it's still the truth. People don't like looking at a funnel page as much as they like seeing a store, at least initially, or if they click the home button or whatever. So there's that. But the optimizations in the store have come such a long way. I mean, we're like in the last 90 days, we've taken Organifi store into, they did $1 million a month this month, just off their organic traffic, no sales. And they're already doing 25 plus million in funnels, but their store wasn't converting.
Is that, are you working with Drew?
Yeah, Matt's really spearheading that project.
Oh, nice.
But we've been building, and that was one of the first ones we touched on, but we've gotten to work on all these other stores since then, as well as our own. And when you have, 1,000, 2,000 cart abandons a day, and you have 5,000 visits, you can really get some real good test numbers and really figure out what's working on the fly without having to wait for tests. So we've gotten the optimization thing down to a science, which is awesome.
Wow, cool.
Speed loading, bounce, all that stuff is controlled now way better than what we can do with all the extra server-side scripts that are called in on other stuff. But the cool thing that I love is we still don't send traffic to the store. Just like my book opens with, don't ever send traffic to your Shopify store or e-com store. I don't do that. It's only organic. All of our paid traffic still goes to a funnel.
Nice.
And what we've been able to do is we've been able to build landing pages that exactly like a ClickFunnels page or a traditional sales page, whatever it is. And it bypasses Shopify checkout, goes straight through your Stripe or NMI merchants or whatever else, which you can also do NMI now. So you can load balance your mids, which is huge, especially if you're doing continuity, right? You got to be able to balance that. Otherwise you'll lose one. And so we can do that. We can do order bumps on the fly, custom order bumps, just like you do on ClickFunnels. You can pre-check the order bump, which cool trick if you can do that. 20% conversions on an order bump, right? 15 to 20%.
Yeah.
Try 80% conversions, and
Sure.
then you refund 20%.
Yeah.
You're still tripling, quadrupling, or doubling, whatever the number. Math's not exact science. Your order bump take rate, and you have the customers like, I didn't mean to check that. Okay, cool, we'll refund it. But
Yeah,
the rest of them and it's huge. Take a funnel that can't convert, and it's profitable.
Mm-hmm.
Still don't do continuity on the order bump as much as we'd love to, because obviously there's a whole bunch of legal stuff with that. But then you got the upsell path, the checkout page you can control, which on Shopify is a weak link as well. You can't control the checkout, but on these funnels we can. So we have a traditional direct response funnel.
So these are in Shopify?
These are within your Shopify framework, but they bypass the checkout. And then as soon as they check out, you've got in-cart upsells, or you have not in-cart, excuse me, there's no cart. There's post-cart upsells, which are your traditional one-click. You can split them, you can downsell, you can upsell. We can do our favorite priority processing trick that we both love. Speaking of which, I have to tell my story about that real quick. So we've been doing that, and I loved it. I was like, this is amazing. And then you went on a freaking call and just taught it. And I'm like, well, shit, I've been doing that for so long. I have to tell everybody that I'm doing it too, because I don't want it to be like, I'm not doing it too. I was like, man, damn it, Trey. Like, that's such a good little trick. Yeah. I was like, we're both doing it. But I was literally driving, I think, because you drive and watch Facebook. That's what you're supposed to do. And you said it, and I'm like, oh, damn it. Like, now I got to share it. But because we were just talking about it in Black Label, and everybody was loving it, because it's an extra $6 of free money at about a 15 to 18% conversion, right? But all of that stuff we can do in Shopify now. And all those orders, if you're drop shipping or you're doing print on demand and you have your own products, you can hook it all into Shopify so that all those orders can get routed where they need to.
That's
instead
cool.
of into ShipStation, where sometimes the order comes through or sometimes it doesn't. The customer service, the refunding, all that stuff is still ported into your store as if it came through Shopify checkout.
So I'm still confused though. Is the checkout in Shopify or is it in funnels?
You have both.
Oh.
If they come to your store, so on your store, you can do a couple different cool things. Number one, you can take your product pages and get into the custom code, and they go to the product page, and you could have it just hooked up to the store, right? So they click it, they go to their cart, and they check out. Yeah. Or you can do some ninja stuff where you have them go to the product page. When they click the add to cart button, it takes them to a standard or a separate checkout page within the ClickFunnels store still, the ClickFunnels Shopify store still, but not using Shopify checkout. It's using the app checkout with your Stripe account.
Gotcha.
So if you want to push somebody into a funnel from your product listing page, you can do that. So off the store, or you can just build a page that's a landing page that's your Shopify redirect.com, whatever. It still shows your domain / landing page, product one, whatever you call it. And so it works just like a traditional funnel. So you can have those pages just not seen on the store, and then you drive your traffic to them. And there's no traditional store branding. There's no about us. It's just a funnel page, like a regular landing page. And then, so there's two checkouts. That's the most important part to understand. There is your traditional Shopify payments checkout that uses the normal store, and then you also have this option to run stuff through a checkout that bypasses Shopify checkout. And that's cool. Where you can do all the really cool magic. But even still, using people who come to the Shopify checkout, the standard one, that we've been able to still get those crazy conversions, 5, 6, 7%. And our those three metrics there, you have your add to cart, you have your add to cart, you have your initiate checkout, and then you have your conversions, right? Your sales. Our whole goal, we figured out all kinds of really cool stuff to really just make the drop off between each of those numbers just super duper small. So you may have like a 10% add to cart, and then you have a 8% initiate checkout, and then a 7% conversion. So those numbers just get super small, and makes any traffic more profitable, right? And then obviously bounce rate, and do all kinds of stuff with that too.
So does it take a coder to do all that stuff?
Some of it does, but it's getting better. So what we've done is everything we've had to custom code, we have now started building our own theme that has it all in there. So moving forward, we can just make the edits, instead of having to get a coder involved on those kind of things. Some stuff will, like if you have a static store, like you already have your store, we got Trey.com, and you want to use this, you install an app like Cart Hook or Funnel Builder 2.0 or something like that. And then if you wanted your product listing page to link to one of your funnel checkouts, you'd have to get in there and custom code that just like you would a buy button. to disconnect it from the cart. So instead of having it, be input equals this, you'd have it be aref equals the cart URL. So nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy. It didn't sound crazy. It sounded pretty drop and click to me.
It is kind of. The cool thing is these funnel builders are actually getting much, much better. I mean, they're both in beta still, but they're advanced beta, and you can build good-looking pages on the fly. I mean, and you don't have to have the coding skills like you used to, and they work, which is the other thing. Because we used Ezra's one-click upsell script for a long time, but we couldn't get the support we needed to get it to work right. And it doesn't do recurring. There's a lot of things that it wasn't doing, and that's where these guys came along. And both Matt and Jordan, we talked to Jordan probably with CartHook almost every day. He's like, hey, what about this? No, change that. Boom, done. So, and I mean, it's pricey. It's $300 a month, but the ROI on it is insane, because now you take a Shopify store whose weakest link aside from conversion is what? Average order value, right? And what's the best thing about a funnel?
Oh, I love that average cart value.
Yes. So we got that, and now you combine the two, and now you have a store that now can have a legitimate average cart value, so you can actually buy traffic.
That's amazing. I love it, man.
I can ramble on this shit all day, because this is like the new, and I honestly can tell you, I'd never thought that I would be saying how much I love Shopify, basically, because I'm funnel only.
It's all the same, it's like, we know what the principle is. We know what we want to do. We want to just sell, and whatever platform we can build it on, the better. And when we can increase conversions, and we can do all kinds of other stuff. I mean, that's what makes it really nice.
And it doesn't, I mean, as much as I'm saying like, oh my God, we're on Shopify now and doing this, I'm certainly not suggesting if you have something that works, go switch. Like that's what people, I don't want people listening to this to think that either you or I is advocating one or the other. Whatever you have, if it's working, stick with it.
Absolutely.
Don't go rock the boat, because you know what? I'll give you a perfect, personal, and super painful story, which is why Trey never hears me talk about our gun niche anymore, hardly at all, because we switched from ClickFunnels because it was too limited to do what we wanted in terms of the continuity subscription box stuff that we were doing.
Oh, cool.
We moved into UltraCart. UltraCart, they didn't even know their upsell functionality was broken. They didn't know that the Facebook tracking pixels that the code that they would give you wouldn't actually paste it where it was supposed to. I mean, nobody used it that way. So we got in with their devs to fix it. But ultimately what happened was we spent, what do you think, like 6 months? Yeah, 6 months. I learned UltraCart, like how to do all the coding stuff. Matt was on the front end doing traffic, and all we did was lose time, money, and destroyed our entire continuity program.
Oh.
Because UltraCart stopped billing them.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, they're still here. I'm like, yeah, but you're not charging the card, and it wasn't working. And then people were getting dropped off. It was a nightmare. So we lost a ridiculous number of members. I don't even want to say how many. It's just awful, and completely depressed me, because that was my baby, right? So we're actually in the process of rebuilding it right now with a whole new continuity model that's much simpler. That's what happens when you jump to a new tech stack because you think it sounds exciting, because UltraCart had all the things that we thought we wanted. And they're like, this is amazing. It's the grass is greener, but it's not just greener, it's on steroids. We're like, get it. And then it crashed. So to sum that up, just because I'm in love with Shopify right now, and it's so much, you can do with it that we couldn't do before, for sure don't switch. Like, unless you already have a store and you were wondering, hey, can I do these things? Of course you can now. Yeah. But, I don't want to send anybody off learning a new tech stack sucks. I don't want anybody to have to go through that.
What I'm excited about is things like Apple Pay, because I think that'll be a leading edge. But I think there'll be a day tanner where we don't have credit card forms. We don't have email, phone number, address forms. It's going to be click this button, thumbprint from your phone, and it's purchased.
Boom. Yep, I agree.
That's amazing, dude. That's where it's going, and it'll be cool. Like, that's the stuff that we geek out about, because we know it's like you can't say you didn't order that. You had your thumb on the dang thing.
It's like your Kindle, right? Or I'm a Kindle guy. You're probably an Apple product person, but you're on your Kindle, you're reading new book, click, and you bought it. I mean, I'm the guy that'll buy 15 books because I don't have to buy them. I'm just clicking a button. Right?
Absolutely.
I have a stack of books, or not a stack, but like a digital library of books of things. I'm like, I bought that.
It's amazing.
Becoming a dad, right? You buy like 50 books. And one night I was panicking. I just, I got to be a good dad. And I bought all these books, and Tab's like, how much did you spend? I'm like, I don't even know. It didn't cost me anything. She goes, yes, it did, dumbass. Like, you're supposed to be this guy, right?
So what's working, dude? I see, like, I follow you on Facebook. I probably should like more of your posts, but I'm really mainly spying.
Yeah, I'm a snooper too. That's just how we are.
That's how it goes. And so, dude, your house is beautiful. You're doing amazing things. I think I saw a new car roll up for your wife 6 months ago.
Dude, no, she's trying. So she shows up at Black Label. Look at this Aston Martin that I found, and trying to talk all the Black Label people into convincing me that she deserves it. And I'm like, I don't have an Aston Martin. Why are you getting an Aston Martin? And no, she didn't get one, by the way. But no, she's got her Jag. I've still got my RS7. So we haven't bought any new toys like that. We've just house stuff and experiences. We've been traveling a whole bunch more. I'm trying to get that family stuff back on track. And I'm moving away into that experiences over things type mentality. And because that's where it's at. I got 2 kids now. Paxton's 18 months. Peyton's 5. Started kindergarten on Monday.
Peyton's 5. Jeez.
I know, and that's where I want to be. Like, I don't want to be. I love this office, but I don't want to be in this office. I want to be with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what we're going to be living like a couple of months of next year in Texas. We're pretty sure because
cool.
all my family's down there, and then we're going to just focus on experiences.
That's we did a Kommerce Kings with Carl White. Mm-hmm. And I think you know him.
Yeah, that's a good. And
that's exactly what he said. Is one of the biggest notes I took away from him was, money is an accelerator, and he doesn't want money. He wants what money gives him.
Exactly. It's not the dollar. In our case, dollar is just a way of keeping score, right?
Are we
doing good? Yep, it is. Okay, but we all want what it gets us.
The memories.
Carl's a rock star. Like, dude, that guy only works like 4 days a month or 8 days a month or something ridiculous like that. He's got it dialed in.
Yeah, he does. He does. You need to listen to that episode.
I will. But one of my favorite Carl story, we're sitting in, I think it's War Room years back. And he does it every time I see him. But this is where I first really met Carl. And I know the stories, and Drew talks about Carl and about how he helped him with his membership and basically everything, right? Carl's this I got, this God, right? So sit down, we're in the same row, and we're listening, and Carl's taking furious notes. We're about a half an hour, maybe an hour into it. He goes, "This is awesome. Cool. See you guys next time." Gets up and walks out. And I'm like, "What is he? Where are you going?" He goes, "I got what I need. I'll see you next time." And I mean, it doesn't matter that it's a $25,000 mastermind or that it's just the first hour of day one. He literally left because he had the one thing that he knew he could implement that was powerful, and he would go back and he would do it. And that's why Carl is who Carl is. Because he doesn't get the 18 ideas and the 37 distractions from a mastermind. He just takes off and leaves.
Oh, dude, it's so amazing. Dude, I'm glad. I think I'm being selfish because I claimed I'm doing this Kommerce Kings thing. I probably should just do it for myself. But instead of giving it
fun though.
But it's less fun. But I get so much information from everybody I interview. It's so good. It's so rich, and it's cool catching up with. I'm really realistically catching up with friends.
Absolutely.
Mentors, and seeing it where everybody's at, because otherwise we wouldn't do it. It's I'm busy, but hey, it's a podcast.
Call me. You want to do an interview? Sure. When do you want to do it?
I'm going to do an interview. It's amazing. You want to go to Florida? No, I can't, but I'll do an interview with you. Yeah. That's cool. So, man, what's some we got about 10 or, we got about 3 minutes left. So before we go into behind the scenes, that's when it gets good. But what's I don't know, what's a cool something that you've done that's killer, or an idea or a concept, or I don't know, something that's changed your life in a way?
Business or personal life or anything?
Whatever you want.
Okay. Well, you know what? Everybody's going to come on your show and talk about e-commerce and business. So why don't we talk about a little bit something different that we don't talk about? All right. Which is taking the time to engineer the business that you actually want. All right. And what I mean by the business you want is you don't want to own a business to own a business. You don't want to own a business to sit in an office or to whatever. You want whatever the business, just like money, you want whatever the business is going to offer you. So in the exchange is going to be build the business to get the money that gives me the freedom to do blank, right? The problem is how many of us, you, me, came on the line and I want to build this exact type of business, or I just want to make some freaking money. Let's just make a bunch of money. And then the problem is you can make a bunch of money, and it's very easy to get wrapped up into something that you either hate, you're a slave to, or doesn't allow you to do the things that you actually want. I have really good friends of mine in Black Label. I mean, most of our members are 3-4 year members, but the reality is like a couple of them, their whole desire to build a business was to be nomads, right? Travel the world, but they don't travel. They travel less than I do. They're owned by their business. They're stuck in Jersey. They're stuck in Denver or whatever else. One of them's just freed himself. He's been to Italy 6 times this year.
That's cool.
And was going to move there in 18. So, things like that. But the problem is we just build a business. We just go out there and make money. And what I encourage you to do is, if you're already in it, great. Stop for a second. Don't stop what you're doing, obviously, but take some time and reflect on, what do you actually want your life to look like on a day-to-day basis? Like, do you want to be tied down to a location? I like roots, right? So I'm totally cool. My house is 3 minutes from my office. We've got the office, the warehouse, everything right here. I'm cool with that. But if it was more than 3 minutes from my house, I start having panic attacks. Like, the gym is 9 miles and I don't want to go to the gym because it's too far in my world. Right. But, if you want to be a nomad, if you want to be able to travel and just pick up and go at a moment's notice, like Matt, that's him. He can just go wherever he wants. Everything has to be built in such a way that you can allow for that. Also, what kind of money do you actually need? And how much do you actually need to survive there's no reason to work, do the 40-40-40 plan or anything like that, where you delay your gratification until you're too old to enjoy it. We're in a new economy where that's not important anymore. We can literally live the ideal lifestyle within reason. This is reality, right? I'm not going to be like MTV Cribs tomorrow, but reality, and still have that amazing retirement way earlier than we thought before. Because in my goal, retirement, my life improves, not goes down, right? But at the same time, I want to have the things now too. I want to do the things now too. So you can engineer that if you plan it out. But just the same way you plan a business goal, you need to plan your life goals. And then take a hard look at your business and say, hey, does my business reflect what I'm trying to achieve here? And if it doesn't, you need to figure out what's going on and how you can make the two mesh together. We have a whole system for doing it. Call it reverse engineering your life and business. But
that's cool.
It's a big deal. And it's something that nobody does. And honestly, what's crazy is, like, we'll do trainings, I'll do events, we'll do whatever. There's 2 things that people get the most excitement out of, which blows my mind. None of it has anything to do with my funnels or anything like that. They love the reverse engineering, and they love the untrapping yourself as the entrepreneur, like the personal development shit, which I shy away from because I don't want to be thought of as woo-woo, right? But like, how do you stay on track as an entrepreneur? How do you deal with all your internal thermostat and all these different things? They blow up about that. They could care 2 shits about, hey, check out this new conversion booster we figured out. And that's what I get excited about.
Yeah.
So, hopefully that's some food for thought for people. But yeah, I would say that is the biggest thing for me. And I'll be honest, I wasn't following it. I was teaching it and doing the do everything thing. But then my life got so out of proportion that I was unhappy. My family was unhappy. My kids were unhappy. Business partners were unhappy. And it's just like, okay, what's wrong? And I realized everything was out of alignment with what I wanted to be. Mm-hmm. And now that's why we scaled down BGS. We increased our consulting. We just did what makes sense.
Focus.
Yep.
Complete focus. It's like, do the same thing that we did. We, focus on, because we got to get going, but focus on what you focus on expands. And it's so weird how that really works. Because, it's like our continuity. It was like, yeah, we have this continuity thing. It's kind of sitting over here. We're kind of like, oh, we'll open the door. How you doing in there? Like, you're doing good. Okay, cool.
Thanks for paying most of the bills. We appreciate it. See you later.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I don't know why I'm ignoring you. Versus like, we're building all these funnels. We're building this huge machine. And one day, it's like, we got to fly the plane. We got to concentrate on one thing. And that one thing we keep putting aside. And so we opened the door, tore the door off, and said, this is the front desk. We had a big meeting. I said, this is our life. This is our pillar. This is what's going to pay our family bills. Mm-hmm. Food on your plate,
for everybody,
your house bill, not just mine, yours too. Mm-hmm. The whole company is focused on this. And that's our continuity program. And so then, dude, big things started happening. All of our email drops, all of our affiliates, all of our, our plans of actions, we're all focused on building that one thing. And even the funnels we build, the reason that we build a funnel is because of that.
It's the recurring income core.
It's the recurring income more. And dude, we're still building it and we're still working on it. We're still fixing things. And it's amazing of how there's seeds and low-hanging fruit that are there and you didn't even see them.
To it. Yeah, totally.
It's like, holy smokes. So yeah, I totally get it. And once you have that machine, That's a beautiful thing because that's a freedom machine. And that is going to allow you to take the vacation or take the time away or go spend with your kids or your family or do what you
want.
Why? Because you want it, right? That's why you became an entrepreneur in the first place. That's what you started e-commerce for, is like, it's here. So now you're fit, you're financially fit, physically fit. Mentally fit.
Like, I actually have a relationship with my wife. How amazing is that? Like, I mean, how many of us just go through life like it's almost like they're roommates? You know, you love them, but you don't connect because you're treating them like a business.
There you go.
It doesn't work that way. So
yeah. No, it does not. And they start tooting their horn, don't they? Mm-hmm. Like, hey, something's not working over here.
Yeah. I've been there for sure.
Tanner, how can they, dude, I know you got this book. I don't know if you want to give them the link to this. I don't know if you want to give them, like, how do they find you, man? I know they're going to be wanting to know.
So easy things. If you want the book, you can grab it on Amazon, or you can get it at ecommerceevolvedbook.com. We're doing the free plus shipping offer there. You do have to pay for shipping. It's exactly how it sounds. And then, or you can just find us on buildgrowscale.com or Facebook, or just, you can get me wherever you want. I'm around.
Find Tanner Larson. Dude, I appreciate you. Here's what we're going to do is I'm going to pull out a nugget from you that I haven't on this. I got one written down that I'm going to do behind the scenes of Kommerce Kings. And then I'm going to talk about your favorite book, the book that changed your life and why, or what was in that book that made you change your life? A mentor, who's been a mentor in your life of many years, and how was that mentor? How did you change your life, or she? And third, an event. What event or gathering have you been to, and why did that change your life? So we're going to do that behind the scenes here. You guys, if you want access to that, it's just go to mronit.com/VIP, and we'll be in there. Thanks for joining us today. Tanner, thank you, and we'll see you here in a minute.